Good morning, noon or night. My name is Jet, and welcome to my channel, JITV2. So, I did this note, and it says, inducing fear with the intention of changing someone's mind is anti-love, okay? Even if it's so-called for good. That is called manipulation. Anytime you try and induce fear in somebody, and you know it, sometimes we do this on accident, okay? And sometimes just the truth can be scary, okay? I'm talking about people who intentionally use fear with the intention of manipulating somebody else's opinion, okay? I'm talking about marketing and media and all of these different things that use fear as a weapon against us as the general population and as against souled individuals, okay? They're using fear against us. Bible says something like 365 times, do not fear. We're not supposed to fear. If there's a system, let's do this way. There's fire, and the fire wants to exist, right? But there's a bucket of water over here, and it knows that if the water gets dumped on it, that it's going to go bye-bye, right? With the fire, if we're personifying things, would the fire not try and figure out a way, any number of ways to make sure that the water didn't get on it? Maybe it would do things like it would tell people like, oh yeah, we're water resistant, we're a new kind of fire and we're water resistant, so the water isn't going to work on us. Or it'd say, if you touch that water, it's going to burn you. It's not just water, it's got chemicals in it, and it's, you know, or any number of lie that this fire could come up with to stop anybody and everybody from putting the fire out, okay? If we were personifying things, right? So that's what's happened with love. So love is the water that puts out the fire, okay? Love is what puts out the anti-love, okay? Which is hate, fear, guilt, shame, condemnation, jealousy, envy. They call it the green-eyed monster for a reason. You know, it's a monster. It's bad. It's not good because it's not of love. Good means of love. That's what, when we say good, people don't think about it, but as a general, good is what is of love, and bad is what is against love, in opposition to, and many times anti also means in place of, okay? So that is what this system has tried to do with money. They try to use money as a substitution for love, but there's no substitution for love. You can't substitute love with anything, because love is love, and it's the only thing that's comparable to itself, okay? So now we live in the system where it's like, if a dog bites you, then you sue someone, or even if you don't, they have to give you money to compensate you for the things that you have to pay for, because it was their responsibility, it was their dog that bit you, you know. But just in that exact same example, now they could give you $1 million, right? But is that $1 million capable of taking away your fear and possibly a phobia of dogs after being attacked by a dog? Okay, money cannot be comparable to love and can't be in substitution for it. I'm not saying we have to use it in the system that the way we are like this, but become aware and understand that there's no substitution for love. Okay, they try and do it with money. Okay, love is not money. Okay, there's even a parable about it. It's talking about, like, I'll look that one up, but love is not the same as money, and you can't substitute each other. They're not comparable, okay? Just like another way they're trying to do it is, let me stick with this. So I'm just gonna leave this one short. It is not okay in any way, shape, or form to try and mind screw people, okay? And using fear to induce a change in someone's mind is not okay, It's not okay to use fear as a weapon against somebody. It's never okay to do that. So, and you can see how it would be, we think it would be useful, right? But real change and real love and love of God and love for everything, real change, it can't be forced, okay? And it can't be manipulated, and it can't be tricked, okay? Real change has to come from love. That's the only real change that there is. So really, if you're scaring people and you think you're doing it with the good intention, you're not doing it with good intention. There's no good intention of using fear as a weapon against anybody, even if you think it's like, oh, well, if I scare them good enough, they'll stay away from this, right? It's like, you know, it's like you want kids not to smoke cigarettes, so you see someone without a leg, and you're like, oh, I bet it was from smoking cigarettes, you know, like trying to scare them not to smoke cigarettes. Well, that seems like with a good intention, but it's never okay to use that, because it's not real. It's not real. So you have to be willing to take the time to understand, to give real answers for questions on why not to do things, right? Okay. One of the easiest ones is like, is this loving or is this not loving? Okay. Because that's the whole nature of reality. Is this a love-based decision, or is this a fear, anxiety, worry, jealousy, rage, anything answer or solution to a problem? So it's love or bust, love or anti-love, okay? And you can't use one in place of, you can't use anything in place of love. So the loving response, you have to actually figure out why you don't want your child to smoke cigarettes. It's bad for your health. You don't have to try and scare them. You just have to, it's like, you're not showing love for your body. We try to show love. This is how we show love, and this is how we don't show love, okay? And it's very difficult, and I understand, because many times this means, especially in this parenting example, it means we have to change because children know what hypocrites are, okay? And I understand, and it's all hard, and it's a mess, and things are kind of like a total crap show right now, to be completely honest. And all we can do is the best that we can do. And when this condemnation comes in and it starts telling you, like, oh, you're the worst person because you did this to your kid, and now they think this and they did that, and you know, and all these things. Well, love, this is where coming to understand the character of love, which is God, which was shown in the form of Jesus, this is where having that understanding comes in, because God would never do that to you. Jesus would never do that to you, would never condemn you when you're already down and feeling bad and come in and drop the hammer and start beating you. Like, no, that is not something that God nor Jesus would ever do. Okay, it's always the loving path and response, not love like Hallmark or arrows or boyfriend girlfriend. It's like, if you see someone standing on the edge of a cliff and the rock is about to break away, okay, do you tell them that that rock is going to break away and they're going to fall down? Okay, or do you just like turn the other way and like, oh, maybe they put that rock there. It might be offensive. And they might get mad or whatever if I tell them that that rock is getting ready to break. Like, maybe they did that and it's something they did, you know. It doesn't matter, okay? Because the loving thing to do would be to warn somebody that they're literally getting ready to fall off a cliff and die, even if they set it all up themselves. There's no excuse that you can come up with that would validate not telling someone if they're going to fall off a freaking cliff, right? Okay, so that is a form of love. That is loving. That is the loving response. And that's what God does with all of our stuff, okay? Sometimes we make decisions, we go against love. Sometimes we do things like we take oaths to people in clubs and all these different little things, when as a souled individual, love-based living individual, we weren't supposed to do that. We're only supposed to belong to love and God and Jesus. That's our only people we answer to. Now, if we pledge an oath to someone else, say as I did when I was in the military, and you have repercussions of your actions, let's say some things that I'm not legally allowed to discuss at this point, then that was, they'll call it tough love, but it's really real love. Okay, I learned my lesson not to do that. I learned what happened. I had consequences for my actions, even though I didn't fully all the way understand. But guess what? I'm still alive. Okay, you have bad things happen, but now it has taught me, and it says that everything that evil, God didn't do that to me. God didn't do those things to me. They happened to me because there's anti-love in the system, and I gave it a foothold. And so that one is a whole nother one I'm not getting into right now, but I will, just on a separate video. So speaking the truth may be scary, okay? But that's not intentionally using something to induce fear in someone with the intention to change their mind. It's like, if you don't get this, you're gonna die. You know, it's like, if you don't take the, I'm gonna use it generically. Okay? If you don't buy this B vitamin and take it, you're gonna die. And they like, if they say something long enough, people start to believe it because it's the nature of our less than perfect, okay, mind and body that's animalistic in nature. You say something long enough, people start to really believe it, and people start to really think that it's true. But anything that's not of truth is a lie. If it's not of truth, which is love, then it's a lie. And it's not ever gonna be true, even if 10 billion people say that it is. It's like, okay, if there's 1 million people that are saying that this is red, right? Oh, that's red. And there's 5 people are like, that's blue. If they've said that this is red for long enough to get 10 million people to believe that this is red, it doesn't matter that it's actually, it's not true that it's red. It's still blue, okay? Even though 10 million people think that this is now called red, but it's actually blue, okay? Anything that's not of truth is never going to be true, and anything that's a lie is always going to be a lie, because the nature of reality is already set. There's set rules and laws. Love is already life, okay? So anything that goes against life goes against love. It goes against God. It goes against Jesus, okay? So don't use fear to scare people, but also don't not tell the truth. So you have to be strong and tough and full of love to be able to share the love, okay? The love is going to come in and clean you up and push you up and clean you out so that you are tough and strong enough to share the love, which is truth, okay? Before that comes in and you reject it and you push it away, you're going to be in a weaker form, because love is the superpower. Love is the Most High, and it is far, far stronger than anything else that's here. Love, which is God, which is Jesus, is so strong that it doesn't have to prove itself. You know, when Jesus came here, did he mount up an army? Like, oh, let's go conquer and kill all these people. No, he said, do not return evil for evil. Do not return evil for evil. And if your enemy is hungry and you have the capability to feed them, then you feed your enemy, okay? It's love, love-based living. Okay? He said by doing this, it's like dumping hot coals on their head, on your enemy's head, because they're in bondage and they're in fear and they don't understand. And they need your help, and you're helping them, and they're trying to kill you. It makes you feel like make you feel like a heel, you know? And nobody likes that. But the only true freedom is love. Love is the only true freedom. Love-based living is the only way to be free from the bondage and enslavement of fear, worry, anxiety, cockiness, and possessiveness, and jealousy, and lust, and greed. All of those things put you in a snare and in a trap, flip you upside down from what you're intended to be. You are intended to be a love-based living individual, a souled individual, if you understand and have the capacity for love. If you've ever understood love, or you know love at all, okay, that is the roadmap for reality, is love. And it's just going to keep going. We're perfect love, whoops, kind of fell down. We're working our way back up. Everything that the enemy uses for bad, that's what I was getting at. Everything that the anti-love uses for bad, to hurt us and enslave us and trick us and trap us, okay, is going to be used for good, for the people who know what love is, okay? These things are going to teach you and drive you right to the path of love. These bad things or whatever is going to drive you right into the knowledge of love or anti-love. That those are the two choices, okay? That's why we're not supposed to judge other people. There's a million paths that people take to get to. You have love or you have anti-love, okay? Jesus is the only one that said he was the truth, okay? He's the truth and the way and the life. It is a frequency of life. People are walking around that you love, people that you love, and they don't have the frequency of life in them. They can't give you life and love if they don't have life and love. Okay? It's like everybody's getting lit up at different times, okay? So that's why we're supposed to also forgive people, because if someone doesn't have something to give you, then how are they going to give it to you, right? Okay, if I have a coffee, right, and you ask me for a Mountain Dew, you say, hey, you got a Mountain Dew? And I'm like, I got a coffee. And then you look at me and you say, I asked you for a Mountain Dew. I have to have a Mountain Dew. How could you not give me a Mountain Dew? And I was like, I got coffee. It's all I have. It's the same thing when you as a souled individual, you go around and you're asking people for love, okay? The loving response is a love-based individual, compassion and kindness and peace and self-control and all these things. They don't have it. These people, they don't have it to give you, okay? We can forgive them because they don't have it. They don't have it to give. They don't have it. And we should feel bad for those people, even if they're people we love, and even if they're people that hurt us so bad, because that's just the nature of the reality. You can forgive them because they don't have what you're asking them for, and they can't give it to you. The best we can do is to pray for those people that they have the option of love and anti-love put right in their face, and that they are brave enough to choose the love-based living option, and to choose what they would call the Holy Spirit, and to choose to function from a place of love as opposed to the anti-love, because it's freedom. So you pray for these people to get freedom from their mind, the bondage of their mind and their body. Okay? People are using condemnation. People are trying to use condemnation as a motivation and live their life by using this condemnation as motivation to keep them on the straight and narrow, as opposed to, which it's not keeping them on the straight and narrow, because the straight and narrow is of love. It's keeping them off of the straight and narrow, but they think that this condemnation is keeping them in line and on track and it's the right thing to do, when it's not. Love is the correct thing. Love is the superpower. Love is the Most High. And when you condemn other people, then you are then condemning yourself. And it's a form of enslavement. To love above everything else, love God, love above everything else, and to love other people as you love your most favorite person, as you love yourself, as you love your most favorite pet, anything that you've ever loved in your life. You love every single person, stranger and enemy, that you see as you love your most favorite person that's ever existed, okay? That is how you get freedom, okay? Because then this condemnation, this jealousy, and all this stuff, it doesn't come in because you don't treat the person that you love like that. You love the people that you love, okay? You want the best and the happiness for them. So if someone you love has a beautiful dress, you say, oh, I'm so happy that you have that dress. You know, it looks so good on you. I'm so glad you have it. As opposed to saying, like, oh, why does she look like that? And all these different things that come in. Or if someone that you love has a partner, you're like, oh, I'm so happy that you found someone that you love so much, and you two became one, and you get along, and you do all these things together, as opposed to trying to take their partner, or being angry and bitter and jealous and all of those things, okay? Jealousy, the green-eyed monster, will ruin your life. It is in bondage and enslaved. Like, people think like, well, I'm doing the right thing, so why am I not getting treated like this, or whatever. I'm going to stop this one and do another one. Because you can't function from anti-love, okay, and expect to get the gifts of love. There's no possible way. You can't function from this condemnation and this guilt and this shame and this envy and jealousy and lust and greed. You can't function from that and have the gifts of joy, peace, contentment, kindness, self-control, patience, love, self-respect, just joy, what people would call good. You can't do all of these anti-love things and expect to get all of that. That's the nature of reality. That is what I'm trying to share as a truth of reality. So if you choose love and you function from love, then you get the gifts of love. If you choose anti-love, you function from anti-love, you get the gifts of anti-love. Excuse me. So you can get the gifts of anti-love and not have joy, peace, contentment, kindness, self-control, peace, or patience, right? But you can have a lot of people that you're in a clique with, and they may be your friend, or you may have made it up the business ladder, and now you may have a lot of money, and this, that, and the other. But if you don't have joy, peace, contentment, happiness, self-control, peace, patience, kindness, if you don't have those things, then you don't have life. Life and love are interchangeable words, okay? You are functioning on a worldly, superficial, mortal system if you are doing all of the anti-love things. Okay, it says you cannot see the kingdom of heaven if you have not been born again of the Spirit, okay? If you are functioning in the total worldly systems because that's all you think there is, it's a mortal system. The mortal system dies. That's the whole thing. It has an end to it, right? Time has a start and a finish. Like, well, I was 2, now I'm 30. Okay, my mother was here and now she's not. Okay, it's a passage of time. So, all right, I made that one way too long, but I'm going to continue a few more after here. And inducing fear with the intention of changing someone's mind is anti-love, even if you think you're doing it for good. Okay, manipulation is never of love. Love is free will. Love loves love, and God is love, and Jesus is love, and that is how you get freedom, is by choosing love and functioning from love, no matter what the world is doing. Okay, we are, as soul individuals, love-based living individuals, we were set apart. Okay, we were created and set apart from the world. Okay, we're not supposed to be doing all the stuff the world is doing. Okay, it's like, oh, well, you got to get your kid in here so they learn. It's like, no, we were made to be set apart. Okay, we are love-based living individuals, okay? If you go and you do the worldly stuff, then you are a counterfeit and you are a fake. There's a Limp Bizkit song about that called Counterfeit, literally. It's called being a hypocrite, okay? You're wearing a mask, you're playing a part. If you have the frequency of love and you understand and you've been hit with the Holy Spirit and you understand that the world is in less than perfect state, the world is anti-love, all of these systems are anti-love, they go against love, okay? That is the first part of the whole thing about being born again, okay? It's called waking up. People will say waking up because it's a paradigm shift. You had no idea. You were just going along with things. You had no idea before. Well, then you found out that things are not what you thought they were. Okay, now some people, they can't handle it because they don't understand love and they don't know God and they don't know that they have help and that we're not doing this alone. Okay, we're not alone, even though it looks like we're alone. We're not alone. So with that, I'm going to call that one good, and much love and many thanks, and I love you. Thank you.